Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today we're going to be using Miguel Oliveira here in the wonderful circuit of Portimao. Now, there's been a lot of rumours as of recent about Miguel Oliveira leaving the Aprilia team and joining the brand new Prima Pramac Monster Energy team. I'm assuming it's Monster Energy branded, but if not, it's just going to be Prima Pramac Yamaha, of course. And I'm not too sure how I feel about this. I know I've got quite a lot of Miguel Oliveira fans in the Discord server and, of course, on my subscribers. So I wanted to do this video to see what you guys think about Miguel Oliveira leaving, potentially, the Trackhouse Aprilia racing team to join the Yamaha. Personally, I'm thinking a positive side to this because... Wait, just a second. I think the automatic ride height device just applied then. I might have to go back in if that's the case. I'll check it again in a minute, but that definitely felt like the game did it itself. But regarding Miguel Oliveira, I think it's a good idea. It's very similar to the likes of Alex Rins. Got a really clean riding style, very unique, but also is very experienced with the KTM. Of course, multiple Grand Prix winner from both the Premier class and the Intermediate class, and of course the lower class as well. So Miguel Oliveira, great lot of experience, ton of potential, and an absolute doorway for Portuguese riders and fans. I think it's imperative that Miguel stays within MotoGP, but he needs a competitive team. Part of me wants to see him on a Ducati. I have heard rumours about him possibly going to Gresini Ducati to join Alex Marquez, but then I don't know how that would work because Fermin Aldeguer is possibly going to either the VR46 or the Gresini team, so I don't know if that's going to work. But I really like the idea of Miguel... Yeah, ride height device, sorry, is automatic. It's on. It's definitely automatic. I don't know why that is. I'll see how this goes then without changing it back to manual, and we'll see what happens. I just hope it doesn't apply at the worst possible spot, which I have seen in the past. But regarding Miguel Oliveira, I do think it's a really good idea for him to go to this Pramac Yamaha team because they will have factory support from the Iwata factory, and I think that's just what Oliveira needs. I don't think the Aprilia project for Miguel has worked out all that well. I think given time and not the injuries that he had going into the early last season when he got took out by Marc Marquez, I think it could have been a different story, I really do. With the Crypto Data and RNF Aprilia, he started off so strongly, and I genuinely felt that Miguel could be a consistent podium runner. After the injuries, things went a little bit awry, and then unfortunately, we didn't quite see that same level of Miguel Oliveira since. Which I am surprised because I do believe that he has a factory Aprilia with the Trackhouse team, but possibly just a little bit of the data that lacks from a satellite team. Because of course, the whole term about factories and satellite is the fact that factories get the people from the factory. So if you're in Ducati, you get the boys from Bologna. If you're with BMW and World Superbike, and you get the German boys from Bayern Motorworks, you get everything. And of course the satellites, they get a mismatch of talent. The people who don't work with the bike that directly, they have to work it out. So sometimes that is a problem for these satellite teams, and they don't quite have the exact same data and components to work with like the factory teams. So I think great environment such as Pramac team, of course, it seems like a good environment with Jorge Martin. He loved it there, of course. And I forgot the name of the gentleman, Paolo Ciapatti, is it? Possibly. I can't remember the name of that of the team manager. I apologise at the top of my head, but I think that's a good environment for Oliveira to be in. A team that is striving to improve. You've got now 4 Yamahas instead of 2. Quartararo, of course, talented as he is, can try and develop the motorcycle with Alex Rins. And if they can get that motorbike up to the top level like it has been doing, then you better believe Miguel Oliveira would be a cracking choice to be fighting for podiums with the Yamaha. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to happen next year, but you never know. Maybe there's going to be a big improvement in the 2025 off-season, and hopefully then if Oliveira does go to Yamaha, he can grow with the Iwata factory and grow with the bike, which has won multiple world championships in the past. So that's my 2 cents, let's say, regarding Miguel Oliveira going to Yamaha. Now, I did mention that I wanted to see Oliveira in a Ducati. I think a lot of people would, But Ducati, of course, is the absolute pinnacle of motorcycle racing at the moment. It's top-notch in World Superbike, it's solid in British Superbike and Moto America, and of course, anywhere else, Ducati always does extremely well. But in MotoGP, it's guaranteed the definitive motorcycle to choose if you want to be competitive in the Premier class. So, for that reason, I would really like to see Miguel Oliveira on there. I think he is a rider that is slightly underappreciated, not by the Portuguese fans, but by others. I seen today on the Trackhouse Racing team, because they are going to re-sign Raul Fernandez, but there's still talks of Miguel not showing where he's going to go, and to be honest, for me, I think it's obviously down to Miguel. I think Trackhouse will quite happily have Miguel again, but I think he wants to look elsewhere for something new, to move on to pastures new. But if a Ducati seat is available, then I think it would be brilliant rider such as Miguel Oliveira to jump on that motorcycle. I really do. So I'm really curious to see what is going to happen for the number 88. I certainly hope he'll stay in MotoGP. I mean, I have heard people saying he'll move over to something else, but I don't see that happening. He's way worth his gold in MotoGP. I mean, there's multiple riders who would you consider probably not as good as Miguel, who haven't had the success over the couple of years. And of course, don't forget, with Miguel, he is excellent in the wet, and he is a bit of a track specialist here in Portimao. So if you want just a team to try and improve... Oh, I've just dropped the front. That's the worst. Too tight to the apex there into turn 13, trying to just eke every little tenth of a second out, but that is one of the corners that always catches me off guard. But I'm going to head back into the pit then, guys and girls, because I would like to turn off that auto ride height device. I don't like anything auto in these games anymore, so I'm going to get shut. I know I did the auto gears versus manual gears the other day, but that's annoying me, so I'm going to have to get rid of that. I really don't like it. So let me get rid of that now. So then, back on the circuit, already and able. I'm just checking over at my Audacity, which is my recording software for voices and for audio. And for some reason it just keeps crashing on me, so I apologise for if I've missed something here, or if I'm not going to cover something I originally planned to, because I've just had a good old chat, or at least begun chatting about Joe Roberts for the Trackhouse Sprily team, Miguel Oliveira, etc. So I'm going to try and regain my steps. But basically what I wanted to discuss now is the fact that if you are a Miguel Oliveira fan, or if you're not, where would you like to see Miguel Oliveira go next season? Would you like him to stay with the Trackhouse Aprilia team, or would you like him to go to somewhere like Ducati or the Pramac Yamaha team? I think I've already mentioned already, or if I didn't because I got cut off, I would like to see him on the Ducati. I really would. It's a difficult situation because Ducati would need to accommodate Fermin Aldeguer. They've now already got Alex Marquez, and now they have possibly Fabio Di Giannantonio, but that is not quite confirmed as of yet. So who knows what's going to happen, but what I will say is that Miguel Oliveira is a talent and a half. I think he's a fantastic rider and more than worthy of staying in the Premier class. So if it's not going to be with this Aprilia team, if it's not going to be with the Pramac Yamaha, if it's not going to be with the Ducati team, I don't know, as long as it's one of them, I'll be happy to see Miguel come back for next season and for many more as well. But the Pramac Yamaha team is certainly an interesting one. Factory support with the assistance of the Iwata factory, I think it could be very interesting. I do believe that Fabio Quartararo, Alex Rins and a pairing of Miguel Oliveira and possibly another young rider would be pretty good for development for the Yamaha teams. I think that's an opportunity for them all to really focus and to get Yamaha back to where it used to be. So I do like that idea, but on a selfish level for Miguel Oliveira, I do like him and I would like to see him on one of the best bikes, because of course, as we know, Ducati GP24, GP23 and possibly even the GP22 is the best bikes to be on. So for me, I would want him to go over to there. But if he does go over there, and even if he doesn't, but as long as he doesn't re-sign with Trackhouse, it offers a very interesting opportunity. We cannot avoid the fact that this is an American-based team, and they desire an American rider on their motorcycle. And now this is the biggest point of this now, because this is where it gets really interesting. If Miguel decides to move, all the dominoes will fall to put Joe Roberts into MotoGP. And now this is where this one gets really interesting, because Trackhouse, American branded, American team, American livery, it's going to be the perfect match for the Californian. And the thing about Americans, especially when it comes to racing, at least what I've noticed, they support their American talent. They might not focus it as much as some of the other sports in America, but for that niche group that really love and cherish motorbike racing and their American riders, they will allow them to grow. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out with Cam Beaubier and Sean Dillon Kelly. I think a little bit of maybe a controversial decision to get rid of Sean Dillon Kelly, and of course, let's not beat around the bush, the complete controversy surrounding getting rid of Rory Skinner, completely tearing up the contract and sending him back on his way to British Superbike. That's not really what I would expect from a passionate American team, but if we ignore that for now and we focus on the concept of Joe Roberts moving into MotoGP with the American livery, with the American team, it's just so obvious. It's almost like it's decided already that Joe's going to be in there. But at the same time, it's not just up to them, it's up to Joe. Does Joe want to try and stay in Moto2 and try and get himself the World Championship? Does he feel he can get the World Championship, or is he going to have to make the decision now to move up to the Premier class? That remains to be seen, and that opens a very interesting question which I cannot wait to see the answer for. So if Joe is not going to jump across and go up to MotoGP, then will Trackhouse decide to keep both Raul Fernandez, which has been signed, and a potential new candidate of Jack Miller? I find that one incredibly interesting, because Jack Miller has proven he can ride any bike. He's done well on the Honda in the past. He won a Grand Prix in 2016 with the Honda. Granted, a little bit of a wet condition race, and of course he is a wet weather specialist, but he has done alright with the KTM. Podiums in there, you've proven your worth with KTM. You can ride a motorcycle, and you can ride very well. How will he fare with the Aprilia RSGP? I don't know, but I'd like to see it. But I think it'd be more important to get someone like Joe Roberts up there, but then possibly it could mean a no space for Jack Miller, which I am not on board with. Jack Miller deserves to be in MotoGP and should still be there for next season. So I am really unsure. The silly season is in full effect here, ladies and gentlemen, and it's such a difficult one. I have to give a little bit of praise here as well, because regarding Joe Roberts moving up to the American team, to the American livery on the Italian bike, which obviously is a little bit of a kicker if you are full 100% American, but one thing I will give credit to is that the Americans do support their riders, and the biggest comparison I can give you is that I'm English, I live in Britain, and I support our British riders. Although not everyone feels that way. Just because you're British doesn't mean you have to support the British riders, which I agree with. But we don't do support very well. Our country doesn't promote MotoGP and World Superbikes, doesn't promote bike racing in general. Unless it's football, nobody cares. But we don't even appreciate the riders we've got. So the likes of seeing Joe Roberts and all the fans completely just engulf him in compliments and rapturous reception, I think is terrific. It can get a little bit, okay, it's a bit excessive just because he's American, but it's nice to see in a way, because the worst fans and the most brutal criticisms and criticisers, should I say, or critics, for Jake Dixon, our British talent, is the British public. The British fans completely diminish him sometimes and completely try and destroy his confidence with social media. They do the same thing with Scott Redding, and they do the same thing now with Jonathan Rea. We're the opposite of supporting our talent. Now, when I see it for the likes of Joe Roberts and Trackhouse, and it's great to see. And I kind of would like to see Joe Roberts join MotoGP with this team, because I think that's the ultimate way to grow. Having a team built that want you to be there is critical. Look at the VR46 riders. Rossi's team with Marco Bezzecchi and Luca Marini from a couple of years ago. Luca Marini was not a very good rider in Moto2 for the first couple of years. Once he joined the academy, he really develops, and I think he's a cracking rider now. It's hard to say that because, of course, on the Repsol Honda, and people don't like you giving opinions of positivity about the Honda and the riders, but he's a great rider. He's a podium finisher. He's finished on numerous races on the podium and has been competitive in a decent stance ever since he was on the Ducati. But that avenue of having someone who believes in you into the academy, the team, they believe in you, they want you to do well, you will do well. If you're in a situation where they don't believe in you and they don't really think you can do all that well, then you're not going to amount to anything in such a difficult, high, demanding amount of talent and pressure in something like MotoGP. So I'd like to see Joe Roberts on there next season. I'd like to see Miguel Oliveira go to either Ducati or possibly the Pramac team, but we will wait and see. So I've got a couple more laps after before I decide to call this one quits. And I've noticed that the lap times have not been too bad. Did make a small mistake on this very corner on the previous lap, which I thought was a little bit unfair. But rules are rules. You touch the white line or go across it and that is it. Trying to get the bike stopped into the Tour VIP worked out rather well. And as we now go on to the power, I'm liking the looks of the delta there, just less than 1/10 of a second. I downshifted a first gear early and I don't know whether it's a good idea. I probably shouldn't. It felt alright, but I don't like chancing it, to be quite honest with you. Ever since I got told off by you guys and Jackhammer for downshifting to first in MotoGP 23, I'm almost frightened of going down to that lowest gear. Do it in the smaller classes, but not the Premier class. Oh, this is working out well. 1/10 of a second, guys and girls, it's coming. Here on lap 9. And lap 10 could be the ultimate one, but I sincerely hope you enjoyed my little conversation regarding Miguel Oliveira. I do enjoy these sort of videos because I like talking about MotoGP, and unfortunately, when I go on to like social media and Instagram and stuff like that, the comments are just awful. It's just people being so nasty and brutal to each other. I mean, if somebody says they don't like Marquez, they're instantly branded as a Rossi lover, and the opposite as well, and I find it so draining to talk about. But for us, I enjoy chatting to you guys, I really do, from the Discord server to this channel here, so I'm hoping we can have a good old chat in the comment section down below. Oh wow, thought I was going to lose the front then. We found a bit of time here on lap 10. Possibly saved it to the very end for a good solid lap time. Oh, that's tight. I don't think I can get into the 36s, but I'll certainly give it a try. So I'll go late as possible. Oh, what have I done? No, 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 oh, from the front as well, damn it. Well, I don't want to end the video like that, so let's give it another try. Quick out into the pits and then back out again. Double soft option tyres, of course, because the Michelin softs are by far the best qualifying time to use in this game. And in fact, most races as well, to be quite honest with you. I probably should do a video on tyres, to be honest, because I do find that just pick softs. It's usually the best option. And I'm not too aggressive with the throttle anyway, so I don't end up burning up the rear. But here we go. Onto the brakes, getting that rear tyre up into the air. I could have tackled that a little bit better, but we're still up on the delta. Careful on the brakes there, getting close to that white line as we turn back in to the right hander of Lagos. Now into the left, keep it in tight. That's good. I wasn't quite as good on the acceleration though, and I'm still wheeling. Get it stopped. Oh, it's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. It was almost good looking enough to kiss, but not quite. Not bad though, nonetheless. I think we can still finish this video on a high, you know. Onto the power. Here we go. Oh, the front. It's so difficult to keep the front. Oh, again! Jesus! So difficult to keep the front end down there, going over the roller coaster part and then into the Craig Jones. Ah, wide again. Okay, maybe this lap is not going to finish particularly high, but I'm very happy with the performance nonetheless. Bounce around with Superbike, MotoGP, Moto2. It's going alright. Definitely going to come back and do this Portimao again at some point. But I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you guys about Miguel Oliveira, Joe Roberts and the Trackhouse Aprilia team, so I hope we can chat more about it in the comments section down below. And shout out to all the Miguel Oliveira fans. They always comment when Miguel Oliveira is present, so there you go. This one is for you guys, but unfortunately it is not an improvement. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below. As my delta there was pretty close actually getting 136s. We'll definitely come back to this. God loves a trier, and I never say never. So we'll come back to this. But guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for more content. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.